Nandita Das is the actress with a difference, a performer who's always ploughed her own furrow, away from the madding crowd and combining social conscience with a full-fledged career. She's undergoing a change of scene, recently married, but firing all 12 cylinders at work. Nandita, delighted to have you on Limelight, back after a long time.
Thanks so much, Sunil.
And what is it like, not only running a film production company of your own, but one with your husband?
It's wonderful. You've just begun. It's not so much to run an organization, but to be able to do good work. I think because I have had my master's in social work and background with working with NGOs, and he has come from advertising, so we thought we'll put our interests and skills together and try and form a company which we've called Leapfrog, trying to get out of the well, I guess. And we hope to make some public interest spots, based on certain social issues. The first one and the only one till now that we've done is on rainwater harvesting, and hopefully documentaries and maybe someday feature films.
So really you are beginning where most people want to end up at, but meanwhile acting still remains pretty much a full-fledged career, doesn't it? You've just finished a major film in Mumbai, Supari, and starting another one with N. Chandra called Kagura. What are these two films about?
Well, in Supari, I play an underworld don, believe it or not. It's about young people getting greedy, wanting more, being individualistic, getting trapped in this mad underworld scene, and then not knowing how to get out of it. And I decided to choose on this film, even though it was completely different, and my first reaction was, no, I don't want to do this. But, she's not just a regular underworld don. She's got a strange kink almost. It's a philosophy of life that seemed interesting to me.
So not a character who gets sucked into the mafia.
We don't really know all about her in that sense. It's about a group of young people, and I play this underworld don and how they get sucked into my world. So
she's the gang leader.
I'm the gang leader. You don't see much of the gang, you just see the leader.
The film is out in May, and there's also Choba's Ghante, 24 hours, a film, an experimental film in Hindi with Rahul Bose with very little dialogue. What is Choba's Ghante about?
It's tough to say the story because it's like you said, it's really a girl on the run, and it's about these few hours that she spends from her father's place where she takes the money, literally steals the money almost, and wants to give it to her boyfriend. But the story is really small, in a one-liner, but it's more about the treatment, the way it's treated. It's got a lot of dreams and how she almost sees the dream happening, and so it's treated a lot on the post-production.
Is there a market for films like this?
I think there's a market for all kinds of films because there are audiences. We are not a monolith, there are things that you like and I may not, or somebody else might. So I think there is a market. It's about tapping it and believing that there are more people like us and doing what you really want to do and want to share. So I think there is, maybe smaller, maybe marginally smaller, but as you've seen, even the big blockbusters, it's not like they're doing very well.
There's N. Chandra's Kagura with Om Puri, and Chandra has made some interesting films like Pratighat and so on. Tezab was a hit. What is Kagura about?
Kagura is based on a true story about a cop in Bombay, and he had killed about 79 people and was not promoted because they really wanted him to be in the field. And it's more a human interest story, so it's not just how cops are. You can't make generalizations about this, but what happens inside the cop, what is the human aspect, the human angle, how does he relate to life, how does he relate to his wife, how does he relate to his seniors, how does he relate to a friend who might then become, somebody from the opposite camp. So it's really a human interest story about relationships, so again, no song and dance or anything, but just an interesting film.
And what's your part in it about?
I play his wife.
You said no song and dance, and that's been a bit of your manifesto, your professional working life. You're dead set. You won't do that sort of conventional kind of film with conventional items and ingredients.
Well, it's actually song and dance has become a metaphor for, I think, very mainstream commercial cinema. Song and dance per se, I'm not allergic to. There could be a role where I am a dancer and I'd love to dance, or there is a situation where a group of friends are there and they would sing and dance. So it's not song and dance per se. I think to say a very regressive line, or to say a communal line, or to play a character which is sort of very cardboard-like would trouble me just as much as a meaningless song and dance would. So I would want to do films that basically I can relate to. So there is no one thing. I'm trying to sort of make it even more open and not have blinkers and
Nandita,
hopefully
there
do
was
all
a time
kinds.
when you were very active in theatre and street theatre and so on. And you've only made a brief comeback last season when you did Anne Frank with Shabana Azmi, Zora Sehgal and a couple of other actresses on stage. What was that experience like?
It was fantastic. It really was. I think stage is different. I think working in a theatre, in a play is different, especially for the actor. Also, it was an improvised play. There was no script. So there was this, a greater excitement in just creating a script. So we all created our dialogues. It does need polishing, it does need more work, but the process as such, we fought a lot, we disagreed, there were all those ups and downs. 3 days before the show, we didn't know how the play was going to end, but we did a couple of shows in a couple of cities, and I think because it's a very contemporary play, it's a play about today, it's a play about us. It's a play about the urban audience, which is in some way becoming, very prejudiced, full of preconceived notions, full of our stigmas, judgmental. So it touches upon a lot of things that are, I think, about us.
As an actress with a social conscience, who's made her choices very decisively and clearly, do you think there's going to be enough work for you as a performer, as a filmmaker?
As an actress, you are at the mercy of others. I mean, to be honest, it depends on what projects come to you. The fact that I live in Delhi, the fact that I'm not so exposed in most magazines, I don't really do those interviews, or I'm not in Bombay at various shows, that the journalists, the media has already portrayed me as this arty, slightly maybe boring, intellectual, living in Delhi, doing arty films. So, already your choices do get limited. Then all the work that comes to you, you don't like most of it, and then there are a couple of things that you do. So it does limit your choices, but then I just hope good work comes, and if it doesn't, there are always other things to do in life.
Do you think you're especially lucky that work hasn't stopped coming?
I think it's about choice and destiny both. You do consciously choose one way, and then it opens, another 2 ways, and then you say, okay, I want to go this way, and then again there is a bifurcation. So it's a bit of destiny, and I think a lot to do with your own choice. But, to be honest, I mean, acting I don't think is really my calling. So I'm not sort of nervous or tensed about it. If good work comes, I'll do it. If it doesn't, there are loads of other things
You
to
don't
do.
really perceive yourself as the accidental actress, do you?
Yes, I am. Actually, it's completely by accident, but then now by choice.
I'm sure it's not really accidental. You've got many, many more roles ahead, including that of filmmaker, wife, actress, Nandita Das. Thank
Like
you
all
so
of
much
us.
for being on Limelight.
Thanks, Anil. Thanks so much.
That's all for now, but I'll be back next weekend with another edition of Limelight. But if you want to watch any of these stories or interviews at your leisure and on broadband, just log on to our website, ndtv.com. But for now, stay tuned to NDTV 24/7.